entertained? Is this not why you are here?
It's been a long, eventful week for a lot of us. We've seen a lot of alpha drops. This episode, we're going to have, a Prime Minds discussion. No special guest, just us kicking it around, talking some shit about Web3, talking about Champions Ascension, talking about NFT gaming, especially talking about these Prime Eternals that we are all holding. So come on in, listen up, share the link around the live chat in YouTube. We are watching the chat in YouTube, so if you have questions, if you have comments, you want to chime in, we're watching this chat, we're talking. Share this YouTube, like I said. We have the Twitter, at Prime Minds Pod on Twitter. Follow us, we'll follow you back. But like I said, eventful week. We're going to talk about an alpha recap today. We're going to talk about the floor today. And I don't know, maybe we're finding out that some of the alpha and the floor price might go together. But first, let's intro ourselves. As you know, this is King Dav. I'm hosting with my homies, the rest of the Prime Minds, Vita G, By the Dip, Z Mackin, Bunzaga. What's up, man? Let's go around. And a big reason why I wanted to do this podcast is to kind of just weekly take a temperature check of how people are feeling, how holders are feeling, and of course, how the Prime Minds are feeling. So let's go around. Temperature check. How you feeling about the game today? Timestamp on the calendar. What is this? April 30th? How you feeling today? Vita, how you feeling?
Hey, good morning. This is Vita G. That's a simple question with a complicated answer, I feel.
Yep.
This last week, like you said, it was tough, man. I just feel like I've been kind of awash in emotions and just with new information and kind of old information coming back up. So I would say like right now, I'm just kind of here. Not really sure how else to put that.
You're present.
Yeah, exactly.
We are existing in the NFT world, right? We exist. By the Dip, how you feeling, man? You living? You existing? What you doing?
Oh yeah, man. Living, existing, excited, bro. I'm excited to talk about a lot of the stuff. Like, even though I believe there was a lot of alpha dropped over the last couple weeks, so I'm very excited to talk about it, and always glad to spend this Saturday morning with you boys.
Me too, bro. I feel good. I feel good today. Bunzaga, what's up, man? Temperature check, snapshot, April 30th. How you feeling?
Hey, still feeling pretty bullish about the project. Not super satisfied with the transparency that they've given to us, but I'm hoping for the future.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Huh? I think we're going to get into that here in the first segment. Mackin, what's good, bro? How's it doing? How you doing over there in the Northwest, beautiful land that you're in? We got Mackin with us, right? T Mackin?
You're on mute, G Mackin.
I get somebody every damn week. I thought
It
we
was
get
me
it
last
together by
week.
now.
And here I was trying to talk to you guys earlier and thought you were just ignoring me. Damn.
What's up, man? What's up? Let the fans know how you're feeling.
I'm a lot better than the beautiful gray it is outside. You know, I'm over here chipper, happy, ready to be with you guys and talk some Champions Ascension. I'm definitely doing better than the market is right now. Everything's freaking down out there except for our floor price, boys. So
that's true, right? I didn't put that together. Let's get into it, man. The floor is up, right? Let's get right into it. We've I guess since minting, I don't know. I don't got a calendar in front of me. It's been a couple months, right? Since we minted. And it's like the price, I guess, is steadily creeped down little by little. But then it looks like we got a little bit of support at a certain level, and now we're right back over the minting price. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Like, how, I don't know. We speculate a little bit how that happens, and what are your hopes for the floor price?
Well, just to let everybody know, right after Prime Minds podcast, that's when another whale started to show up too, and he just started to buy a lot of primes. Just saying, putting that out there.
Yep. Floor price, though, you also have to take into context what the price of, since we all bought this with ETH, right? You have to take into context what the price of ETH was. So if you look at um, what it was when we purchased, it was right about where we're at right now, right? Right now, this morning, right before I got on the podcast, ETH was 28.15, right? So it was in between 28 and 29 when mint was. So anybody who bought ETH to mint, they're actually sitting right about with the floor price as it is now. If they bought at the bottom of the Dutch auction, they're sitting about even, right? So when the floor price dropped earlier and went all the way down to like 0.27, you got to take into consideration the fact that ETH was up above 3,200, right? So just doing some quick math, like even if the floor price dropped to sub 3.3, right? They weren't really taking that much of a loss. Like if 0.27 when it was 3,300, they were still making like $900 on almost, $1,000, or I mean if they got it on whitelist sale, it was a 900 or so or less prime, right? They could still be making profit if they
So ETH,
whitelisted it.
while ETH was going up, Champions was just not going up, but it was kind of staying the same or dropping just a little bit, is what you're saying.
Yep.
So
So
ETH
people
was
were
up.
pretty
So the
much
value of the Champion in ETH and fiat really was actually more than when they started.
more or relatively the same.
About the
So
same.
like a lot of people, if they sold what we thought was for a smaller floor price, they either weren't really taking a loss, or some of them were probably even still making some profit.
Right.
And
Yeah,
the thing
and
is,
go
you
ahead.
watch this price, right? And usually, if you see a lot of NFT projects, right after mint, there's a big dip. There's either a big dip or a big boost, right? I think it's a real
That
good
boost though,
sign.
man, like not to cut you off, bro, but that's very small percentage. We're talking
Right.
apes and moonbirds, right? There's 3 of them or 4 of them that do that out of every single NFT minting. But go ahead,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, correct. Like you have anomalies, like right, like I think the Moonbird and Bored Ape Yacht Club are like the AMC and the GameStop of the stock world, right? Like
Yeah.
they just went unbelievably high and made so many millionaires, right? Like literally hundreds of millionaires were made overnight, and that's the thing that everybody loves about this space. It's new, and you literally can make life-changing money overnight, right? But that doesn't happen for all projects. But the good thing, what I was getting to with this is that the floor price has stayed from anywhere from 0.26 and up, right? That's a good sign. That means a lot of people are holding, a lot of people have faith in this project.
Yeah, that's a lot of support, right?
Yeah. I
Go
think
ahead.
Icetoad mentioned that last week. Was that Zero Cool thought the floor price was going to plummet, and it didn't go too far down.
No, I mean if you think about it, it's just, I mean from the whitelist, even the whitelist, yeah, or even really just the Dutch auction, the bottom, like you guys said, 0.4. So you're talking about like 0.1 and some change ETH that it actually dropped, right? So that's a lot of support. There's a lot of holders, and I think we mentioned on this podcast a few times that that's a thin ass floor price anyway. We said it. One whale can come in here and just completely change the floor price overnight, and we've seen that happen, right? And do we have any info or details about the whale that came through? How many he got, or they got, or what that's looking like?
Yeah, just scour in Discord, right? Like this whale, he has probably about 192 primes right now, right? So he's just been buying up like crazy. Yeah, and he's buying floor price. He's buying a couple of divinities here and there, but he's mainly buying off the floor price. Now, some sources are saying that this is possibly a guild wallet, and it's probably a guild of a lot of members that put their money together, and they are buying up the primes. So everybody who's in other guilds, be on the watch out. There's competition, and we knew as this game was coming in and getting more developed, we were going to have rival guilds. We were going to have other guilds come in.
Yeah, I remember that early. Folks are saying just guilds that are already formed in different games. And there's probably a lot by now because this is definitely not the first PTE game out here. So guilds formed already. And when some of the game economy goes to shit, they might be looking for one that's being done better or, just the next new game on the horizon. So if this is like the first guild that's coming in, and we've seen what it did to the floor price, I think there's several others behind it, right? Because the other games that didn't do well and Champions Ascension, although it's kind of a kept secret. Once that secret gets out among the folks that are in the guilds, it's yeah, I think the floor is going to rise.
I agree with you there. I guess with the guilds, I'm just curious if this isn't actually like an investment guild. Like, what is their impact? Just thinking down the road, like, what would be their impact on like gameplay? Are they going to be big challengers? Are they actually going to like compete with the the three kind of founding guilds as we had them on a couple weeks earlier? I'm just interested in like how that will actually play out. I mean, purely from an economic standpoint, having
That's a good question.
Group of people come in and buy a bunch of stuff is great for me because I have primes and I plan on holding them. But yeah, so far as gameplay, what's that look like?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I was
anything.
wondering too.
I think
what their plans are. Are they like a pump and dump guild, or are they planning to play the game for a long time, and like where they're coming from?
Yeah, I would think that they're looking at it as an asset, if anything, right? I think both. Where if they can get a better return on the floor just going up, and they see a top that they think it's time to sell, they might sell. And it depends on how that guild is organized. But then if the economics are dialed in, right? We know Zero Cool and them are working real hard. If they get those economics dialed in where it's like a continual stream of revenue, which is what I'm hoping for, right? I'm not trying to do the buy and sell thing. That's too much damn work. But if the economics is good and humming along, I think they're going to just sit on them. I don't know.
Yeah, we have
Good question.
A guy in the chat, Garcia, saying that it is a guild with 10,000 members.
10,000 members.
Interesting.
So they put their money together, picked up a couple hundred primes.
My thinking is land grabs. Like, right, you're buying this many primes and you're really just buying the floor price, because if you're really, like, for me, like if I was a person with that much money, if I was really trying to compete in the PvP game, I'll be getting higher divinities or higher purities. But this guy's just been buying up the floor. So for me, I think they're just trying to stake and get some land as well.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably a smart thing to do. I think for those that turned into Squiddy's, and I'm going to say this real quick, right? Squiddy's NFT talk, they were talking about the BAYC Bored Ape Yacht Club land coming out today, and being a lot of hype in NFT space around that. So I myself didn't buy floor for land because I wanted to get some good primes, right? I wanted to try to do both, get some good quality primes and have some for the land. But I think if it's a purely economic play and you're not invested into the gameplay, I think the smart, purely economic choice is just buying the floor to stack that land. But go ahead.
Yeah, you got to take into the fact that, remember, we have Prime Eternals who are developing the Diamond Hand coins and the Messina tokens, right? So like, there's another play to earn game that I'm dabbling in, and they just minted recently, and the founder even specifically said himself, like when someone approached him, was like, hey, what would you do? Would you get, because they have common, rare, epic, and legendary NFTs, and the founder straight up said, look, if it was me, he's like, I'd sell my epics and legendaries and rares and just sweep all the commons, because of the fact that the NFTs, once you stake it, is going to be accumulating the tokens, right? So that you sell the more expensive ones and sweep the floor so that you can get more tokens, and that's the better economic sense. So like if you take it in effect with the Messina and Diamond Hand tokens, like being able to buy land and create gear and all those different things, it makes more economic sense for sure to have a higher rate of return with more champions compared to just getting out there and getting the divinity and the purity, right? So I mean, if we actually look at Xentos's the primes that have been accumulating, though, like looking up through their entire collection, they've not just been sweeping the floor, right? Like I was scrolling through it the other night, and they paid 3.75 ETH for a 4 divinity, right? They're paying almost 2 ETH for a couple 3 divinity ones. So like they're not just sweeping the floor. So I mean, if you
Smart.
take that into consideration, it's
Here's the
probably
thing
people
too.
who look in playing, right?
Yeah. So I think it's both, right? That's why I kind of try to hit a happy medium, because obviously there's a plan to make this a very big fighting game, right? Arena style, like e-gaming sports style fighting game, and renting out your champion, your Prime Eternal. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
another
what.
source of revenue, having some good stats, good qualities, and a good fighter up in the arena.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Garcia
D.
just mentioned that about scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And CA said that they're going to build that into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously we know, right? The better the champion, maybe the higher rate you can charge, the more demand you're going to have on that one particular champion. So yeah, if you got a 3D or 4D that's kicking ass in the arena, you can rent them out. You'll be booked more renting them out, and you can probably charge a higher, higher rate, higher price for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
And you guys see another whale is offloading just little by little his primes. Life is cool. He's actually giving some great deals out there. Like I seen probably it was like what I think Z Mackin. It was like what 3-4 days ago we saw like a couple 2.9s for 1Ds. Like it was just nuts.
0.29?
Yeah, 0.29. I'm sorry. Yeah, 0.29, which was
Yeah,
just, this is a steal.
there was a historic dip, man. I don't even know. Like, I don't know if we'll get back to there. I enjoyed it, right? I'm kind of holding right now, but I bought a little bit in that little dip there. And I don't know where the price is going to go. Right? We can't see the future. We can only speculate and put our minds together. But I'll tell you what, like I said earlier, if one or two more guilds comes in, if the word gets out, that floor price is going way up. Some people be happy about that. I like buying it at a discount, so I probably won't be buying at a high ETH price.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just be sitting at the 7 I have now. We will see. But if it dips again, I'll start accumulating some more. And that's how you play it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not financial advice. Vita,
Definitely.
we need a good a good voiceover to start the show every time. Not financial advice. I just like to buy low. That's just me. You might want to buy high and sell low. I don't know what you want to do. I like buying low. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just bought one as well, just because I know that price is going to skyrocket, and I know I'm not going to be able to afford it. So,
right,
I bought the dip.
And as we've seen right now, it only takes really one whale to make that floor price go up. When we start, which I'm really excited. I know King Dave will get to the whole new game leaks and all that, but
we're going right now, man. I've been trying to step to that for a minute. Let's go. Go ahead. We got some alpha from Ice told about the game leaks last week. Go ahead, Dip.
Yeah, if we seen the video, I mean, Gonzaga could probably dive deep into it because he's really great at doing that. I was extremely bullish on that because you've seen a lot of set of different moves. You saw lower power moves. You saw high power moves. What about Gonzaga? What do you think about that, bro? I'd just like to see your intake on that.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to play it. That's the only takeaway I have from it. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
I watched that trailer a couple times. That was our major leak on Thursday. It's like some of that gameplay, and it looks like a really developed game, right? And I know we're going to have to wait for that one. But you seen them blocking and a counter block stun move, or it was like a fake dash and some running through the arena. Is this some high quality stuff? Like, what do you think? Is that an addictive type of game? What's that going to turn out to be?
Awesome. I'm blown away by the animations. I think it's amazing. It feels like I'm watching when I see them move and stuff. It looks like they're a real person doing that. It's pretty cool.
High quality game.
Yeah, like Gonzaga, and I know you've made games. How hard is it to get that far?
It's. I think when you get into the ability creation and the actions and reactions and all the animations and all the particle effects, sounds and everything, it's a lot of work. I would say at least a few months.
Right.
So this is pretty cool.
Yep. And I think one of the big pieces of alpha from last week from Ice Toad was talking about there is a historic game developer that's helping with this. And I don't know if I've played the games that they mentioned. Is that like, what do you think about this? The person that he mentioned, and and what we're seeing from the game right now. Do you think that's a good match? It's help us be successful moving forward. And talk about the
You're talking
person
about
that
Chris?
he said. Yeah,
Chris Trammell.
Chris Trammell.
Mhm.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't play the games that I should have mentioned. He referenced them, but I watched the videos afterward, and they do look really good.
Okay.
I was a big fan, and I played all the Twin Tower games. Like literally, that was my favorite game of all time, guys. Like
I
the
only
battle.
played PvP games, so I don't think that was on my radar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like the battle mode is sick, dude. Like there'd be like hundreds of orcs around you, and you can do so many. I mean, dude, I was chopping heads off, legs were getting chopped off. I mean, it was just so fun, just slaughtering hundreds of orcs, you know?
It's PVE, so it's like open world PVE, fighting groups like hordes of enemies, things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've played games like that. I like that. I think it was called Dynasty Warriors, like set in like samurai Japan or something, where you're just running around the map, just killing hordes of people, like in battle style. I like that. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I think we talked about it. Is like if the fighting inside the arena is going to look like fighting adventure games outside the arena, and if that's what they're working towards, right? I think we have a hit there. What else? What else was some good leaks? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and do you think like for me for the Twin Towers battling, that's more like of a co-op mode, like maybe multiple players playing like a story mode or something? Because that's what the Lord of the Rings is. Maybe that's going to be one of the modes for Champions Ascension, to where like me and all five of us can team up, and then we just battle like thousands of I don't know, other creatures within Messina or whatever.
Mm-hmm. When you think about it, and we talked about this, a little bit earlier too, is when we had these game leaks, right? When Ice told us talking about the game, talking about the team, what their vision is, that's when we seen the floor price going up too. So is the game leaks itself, is that attached to the floor price? Right? If folks think the game is going to be good, really have faith in this project. And that's kind of what brought me here. It's like it's for the game. It wasn't really for, we can drive a lot of hype, we can get a lot of people in. But it was because I thought the quality of the game was going to be good. Is that moving the floor price too?
It has to be, right? Because the more information that comes out, the more it's kind of just like a market, right? The more information that I know we can't say that these are investments, but investors in the stock market, the more information they have, that's what drives a stock's price.
Interesting.
Right?
The price
So information increases the price.
Yep, and they say, buy the rumor, sell the hype, right? So, like we're getting these little alpha leaks, and those are the rumors, and people went in hard as soon as those rumors hit and bought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once people start actually seeing more and more of these leaks, and it gets out to a wider audience, that's when the real hype's gonna hit, and the prices are just gonna skyrocket.
Yeah. With that said, it's like at any time, Champions Ascension can let out more leaks, things that they're working on, and drive the floor price up and create hype. I think they can really do that anytime they want to do it, right? And I think you hear a lot of people in the Discord. I think they kind of want the floor price to go up so they feel secure in their investment. But I'm thinking Champions Ascension knows that they can do that anytime. They just don't need to, for the reasons Ice told us talking about last week too. It's like we're working on this game, right? Bonzanga mentioned is like they're not as concerned about the floor price because they're trying to make a good game. Right. While it concerns some of us, it's like I like the fact that this project is focused on making the good game, and I'm thinking the strength of the game is going to bring the people to over here, and that's going to drive the floor price up naturally without the hype.
Well, at the same time, you also got to think like we all bought into this long before the game was coming out. They made it quite clear that they weren't even going to have something playable at all till summertime, right? And it was in February. So, like, you got to think, like, they are doing a pretty damn good job of getting the paper hands out of the project. The only people that are going to be holding for this long, not looking to flip, are people who actually believe in the project. So, other than these large guilds and people that are buying in for economic reasons, like you're gonna have a lot of Prime Eternal holders who are gonna be the core community of Champions Ascension, right? Like we're doing a pretty good job at staying strong as a core community and just pushing the paper hands out.
Yeah, I think if you know that you're here, right?
This
What
the
else?
gold rush, baby. Get in the gold rush.
That's true. If you're
I'm
the
gonna
first one
I'm
there.
gonna offer some counterpoints though, right? Because I think everything is not all great in Champions Ascension land right now, and I think a lot of that stems from a lack of communication and transparency from the company themselves, from the developers.
Yep.
While yes, I do want them to be spending their time on developing a good game, I also want them to be communicating with me like they said they were going to. That was part of the communication and part of what we were told prior to whitelist is, hey, you're going to be able to engage in these conversations. And, I would say that there's a couple names who are very active in the Discord, but Ice Toad and Ryder Ryan, I feel like have been pretty active. Johnny Cass Messina was jumping in there later this week, but there's a couple names we haven't seen as much from, and when they do get asked questions, they tend to kind of shy. What seems to be shy away.
They disappear.
That isn't super comfortable for me. Because one of these people, I know we're going to talk about them next. That's why I haven't said a name yet. Don't worry, the name's coming. Was a main driver of all of this activity prior to the whitelist, and they have virtually disappeared.
Yeah. It's like, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go ahead.
It's like even if there's some roadblocks, even if there's some bad news, and so there's two sides to this. One is the game side, one is the economic side, right? One is approval from the various, governmental departments. They can still inform us on what roadblocks they're running up against and how they're working around it. I think that's what we're saying. I think that's a lot of the sentiment from the community. It's like we're adults, right? I'm thinking most of us are adults. Like we can take it. We can take the news, but not hearing anything is almost worse than knowing that you're working to overcome a roadblock.
Yeah.
Right? So they can do better with that.
And for, they might not be illegally be able to describe us like in details, but you can go over a subject like, for instance, hey guys, legal's really having is really working hard when it comes in reference to staking. Now you don't have to go into the details, but you can just say like a title real quick, like, the in-game economy is real difficult and we're trying to figure this out and trying to get it passed by regulations. If you kind of let us know like that, but, okay, cool. Cause we all understand that, regulatory is one of the biggest things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't need to see a damn legal brief, but just let us know what's going on. I'd feel better. I think a lot of people would. So no, I think
real. They're a little bit confused about who their audience is right now. Because I chat with you guys, and I'm in discussions in our guild, and you guys are all really intelligent people. You're investors. You're at the top of your markets, whatever you're into, and I don't think they realize that they're like dealing with intelligent people who are making intelligent decisions. They're backing their project. We're not free to play mass, Zerg mentality. Like we want to know what's going on. We don't want to just be told everything's okay, go back to bed.
Yeah. We would get it. And that's coming from Gonzaga. Look, Gonzaga just gave us a compliment. Gonzaga's one of the most talented, intelligent people I've met in a while. So that's real. It's like we can understand, we can just understand things, right? You don't have to treat us like children. We understand that this is a process, but just keep us informed, right? Have that respect of your early adopter community, right? That made a wise decision to back this project. And we understand already it's, a big lift for folks in this new space. And we're here with you. So even just the respect of our intelligence, the respect of us as holders and early adopters, just keep us informed a little bit better, And one thing I do want to flag is it seems like they think that game. I appreciate the game leak drops. It seems like they're going to just give us game leak drops and kind of not talk much about the economics part, right? The staking, when that's coming, what layer 1 or layer 2 we're going to be on, if it's going to be tradable in game only or on the blockchain when it comes to the tokens. So it's a lot of things we still don't know, but they can at least let us know about the thought process. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think so. Like even just like obviously it was said like at the end of April staking might be available, right? Well, we're going into May. Just let us know.
Shit.
Like, hey,
we ran last day
we're running into a little delay, guys. And just let us know, because I think the community does deserve it. There's a lot of intelligent people. There's a lot of people who want to be pioneers in this industry. And we're with you. Definitely all 5 of us I know here are with Jam City. Jam City, the sink ships, we're the band playing as the ship is sinking. That's where we are with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how down we are for you guys. Like that. And I think a lot of the community feels like that. Like, hey guys, we're with you no matter what. So let us be along for the ride too,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Share with us. Share what's going on. You don't have to share exactly what your thoughts and feelings are, but share what's going on behind the scenes. Like, that's one of the big things when I got into the Discord, that I was like, wow, this is pretty impressive, because they straight up said, like, they're going to be showing developments. They're going to kind of try and teach people how things are being developed. They even straight up said that they were going to be doing like gameplay development courses almost, right? And kind of showing people the behind the scenes look on how things are getting developed. And that's not the impression I've gotten from the leaks. Like, yeah, it's nice to see a little bit behind the scenes, but like, it would be even better if we had some AMAs with Ice Toad or Chris in the Discord, and they're like, hey guys, this is, do a live stream and screen share with us how the process is. Because, like, just showing us these little, like, this 1.5 minute long clip is probably the longest clip we've gotten so far, and I couldn't glean any information from that on how to go about developing a game if I wanted to turn around and do that. Whereas they kind of advertised that, they'd be trying to turn us all into small game developers, because we would have a big hand in developing this game with them, right? That's the whole Web3 community mindset, is we're doing this in coordination with the developers. And we can't do that if we don't have the information. We can't do that unless you start sharing with us the little bit more than just the behind the scenes look. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want. That's what I would like to see going forward, is a little bit more interaction between the community and the developers beyond just the lore.
And you know what I think the community, we need our zero cool fix, man. We need our zero cool fix. I love to hear that, dude, bro. Like, zero cool. If you're listening to this podcast, bro, let's do an AMA, bro. Let's get you up here. Let's talk. Like, ring our ears a little bit. We love it, dude.
Man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now. When day 1 before we did the first podcast, I'm like, I can't wait to get Zero Cool on. Like, I don't know when or if that'll happen, but like, that was the whole objective. I just wanted to talk to Zero and kick it around, ask about economics, all the above. Ask him how his mind is working, approaching this game. So that might happen. We will see. But speaking of Zero, well, go ahead. I think he dropped a little bit of alpha, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if you guys say it's up on the podcast right now, they have one of the great challenges was regulatory compliance. But it means now that we've tackled something huge, and this is his words, that originally we thought we could put off later. And the benefits of tackling this is that people won't need to know what crypto is to play our game. That's huge. People who don't know what crypto is will still be able to play our game. That's the thing that intrigued me the most, right? So with that is, well, okay, how are you going to do that? Are you going to have an in-game marketplace to where you can buy ETH and then change that into Messina coin, have your own swap? There's so much that goes into that little word that he said.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it so that they can essentially have people buy NFTs with their credit card in the game. is what it sounds like. And they're not the only one doing
Like a
this. There's other
gasless
projects that I'm in.
solution.
They're trying to work out how they can have people use, and a credit card wouldn't be viable because you can always dispute a charge, right? But people could use a debit card directly interacting with their game to be able to purchase an NFT, and then like that's going to be a big hurdle for them to be able to get people to understand they're putting money into a digital wallet, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing. Is you're taking your funds from your bank and you're putting them into a digital wallet in the form of an NFT.
Well, what he said was really different. He says, imagine a crypto game where you don't have to click through wallets and install them dozens of times.
Right.
That's crazy.
What that is for the general public, people who aren't degens like us, they're just using their app, or not even an app at this point, but I think that's in the vision. They're just playing a video game the way they always play a damn video game. And they're just doing in-game purchases the way they always do in-game purchases. Just the infrastructure behind that is completely different in Web3. And people like us, degens that follow, that follow this shit closely, are the ones that are behind that infrastructure as well, reaping some of those rewards because we're the early adopters. So yeah, and that's actually because Jam City has billions of downloads, because they put their games in a lot of people's hands already. And even talking to Ice Toad, like that was his job. I didn't know this, but that was part of his job before, was like advertising to the masses. He said something like the type of artist he is he wants people to consume his art, right? There's the other kind where it's like, oh, my art is special no matter what. I'm the only one that watches it. But he's the type of person that wants to get things out to the public, right? Easy as possible, the most people as possible, which all works well for us. So yeah, I think they took care of something big. Moving on down the road. What else do we got from Zero? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, and also, someone in the community brought up that, since we're not able to stake our primes now, maybe they should give us like a starter of like, maybe a payback of, okay, if we're able to stake from now until like, say, when does staking come out, maybe you can give the community members that have primes some coins for that, some Messina coins, since we've been patiently waiting. And his response was, there's a few options there. Make the things you spend the utility tokens on cheaper, which forging cheaper, buying, different NFTs cheaper, which I'm against, or give a starter amount boost. And he asked if there's pros and cons of both sides. Starter boost sometimes encourage short-term holding to get the boost and go, but I honestly like the starter boost.
Yeah, like all that. So I don't think that I think the argument against that is it puts other new players at a disadvantage that's not here yet. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if they were already on the original roadmap, we would be earning that Messina right now, and regardless, new players will be at a disadvantage. So yeah, I think that they could easily make something that tracks who's holding and when. And then when the Messina and all the economics is ironed out, they can say, here, this is what you would have earned, and this is what you have. Right? Or else we could have got in a month from now, right? Like we could have got in at any time. We could have got in only at the dip. Like we've been holding from day one. Mm-hmm. So I tend to agree that they should build something out, take a snapshot, who's holding today, and then start, accumulating their Messina when it's being offered. So yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I do not like the idea of lowering the price of doing things like forging and that type of stuff, because that's not something that you can change in the future, right? And that actually impacts all holders for the life of the project. And what that does is it lowers our return on anything that we put in, right? It makes everything cheaper. It's deflation essentially before you even have any kind of an economy. So why would you deflate something that isn't even existing yet? Because all that's going to do is make it so that what we acquired is less. It's less automatically right off the bat, and I personally would not mind if staking came out freaking 2 weeks before the game was released, compared to them permanently deflating the value of the tokens. And when you look into the fact of, giving a bonus, like, yeah, they could do a lump sum drop, like how they did with ape coins based on how many NFTs you held on that ecosystem, or they could do a starting increase in your multiplier of your coins, right? So let's say we've held since the beginning. They can give us double for a month or two or whatever to accommodate us for not being able to stake so early. And people who bought in, like a month before when they released staking, maybe they could do like 1.2 times or whatever. It's something that's easy to figure out, and the blockchain is so transparent. They can know when everyone bought and held, and it's really easy to go into Discord or to go through a collab land and prove that you own a wallet. So like say if we did a transfer between wallets, you went from a hot wallet to a cold wallet, or back and forth, or like I have an escrow wallet where I buy stuff and then I move it to a different wallet that's only ever touched the escrow wallet, right? Like all that's really easy to prove because of the blockchain. So it's not hard. All it takes is just a little bit of thinking on their part. But please,
they could take a snapshot.
Deflate our tokens. Yes, exactly.
They could just take one right now, right? They could take without.
They don't even need to take a snapshot, though. That's the thing, is with the blockchain, they don't. There's no need to take a snapshot.
Oh, okay. Even that.
You can look through the history,
right? Mm-hmm. You just look at the individual token IDs, and you can see exactly when everything happened with every single token. So,
I think an announcement, right? If I was the devs, if I was the CEO or the founder of Jam City, Champions Ascension, I would think an announcement for the folks that are holding the Prime Eternals and letting them know, hey, we see you all holding. It is April 30th. We did promise something at the beginning, all the way in the beginning when you all came in. And we're going to hold up to that promise, and you're going to start earning. And they don't even have to tell us what, exactly the economics to it. They can just tell us, hey, y'all are the holders. We got you. That would be big. And I think that's something easy they can do. And they should be thinking about doing that.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to call out, is that they're doing a lot of things really well in this project. They're doing a lot of things right. They're doing an amazing job on the tokenomics, the combat, trying to be engaged with the community and stuff. The only thing that I would say that they need to put a little more effort into is to that transparency and including the holders in with the project.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the game looks good though.
Yeah,
which is why we're here, right? The game looks like they got that part down, and I think it's the same thing that it's the same thing every time. The only negative is their engagement with the community. And, not used to the Web3 space.
And I think it's a challenge for them, right? Because they're a big they're a $1 billion company coming from Web 2, so they know how to work Web 2. Web 3 is totally different. It's a different animal, right? Mm-hmm. It gives the power more to the players. That's what Web 3 is, right?
I think you had mentioned something. I don't know if you want to talk about it here, about community voting.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, like Web3, like Benzaga said, there's a community, a lot of the players and the people that are Prime holders, they help, and I agree, they don't need to make every decision, or you guys don't need to run everything by the community. That's totally understandable from a business side point. But for the transparency part, like voting, like Benzaga said on certain things, like, would you guys like to have a starter boost? That would be a good start.
Right. That should be us. They should put that to a vote and see where we're at.
We'll just say this quickly before I think we're winding down, but I'm in another community, and they just had a vote whether they should remove a lead developer who did something that appeared to be a little bit sketchy, right? Like that's really true commitment to Web3. That's a little bit scary, I think, for any developers to be involved with, but like that's the level of the transparency and commitment to Web3 that particular game and community wants to have. So I don't think that's necessarily going to happen in this case, right? Because we're dealing with a larger entity, but like that's the extreme, you know, that's the other extreme of that level of transparency. You know, and
where the community has a voice.
And you know, as Zero Cool said before the whitelist, Discord is one of the products. That was one of the products that they were selling, right? Was this active, vibrant Discord. And I would just ask anybody, you know, to check and look at the sentiment in Discord. Is it active and vibrant anymore? And what implications does that have? That's
it's
one
not.
of their products.
I'll be transparent. It is not. Discord is dead as shit, right? It's really gone compared to when we first started. And I don't know if that's like, so what is that? It's like a game studio like this, of course, they don't have the need to keep an active Discord in order to make a good game or to get support. I think they're just so confident in their game making abilities and getting it to the masses that Discord and community is an afterthought. And again, that's just the same theme, right? It's just not in the culture of Jam City to be transparent with the Discord and the community, which is when that gets better, and I think it will be, and I hope it does. I think we'll be all right. Guys, is there any more alpha?
I don't know if we've discussed it on Prime Minds yet, but I know we've discussed it outside of Prime Minds, where like there's plenty of other projects that I've been in, and that seems to be the status quo after minting. Is you have all this hype and all this activity leading up to mint, and then after mint, the Discord kind of goes silent, other than the holders. You have a few people coming in and out that aren't actual holders trying to see what's going on with the project, and you know you hook some people in that way, but for the most part, once mint has happened for the majority of the projects that I've been in, Discords don't necessarily go silent, but their activity dwindles exponentially. So
okay, well that's a thing.
Speaking of other alpha, I mean, the biggest thing that I think Zero Cool dropped was the fact that he said, we sorted out some of the biggest regulatory hurdles for the United States, which was a challenge, but worth it. Spent hundreds of hours on that. And now that it's out of the way, it's going to be easier to communicate and show off work. So the fact that he's saying that they've gotten over the regulatory hurdles, right? So that should hopefully free up the devs and the rest of the team to be able to get out here and talk with us and engage with us more often than they have. Because you got to think, if he's saying that he spent hundreds of hours on that himself, that could be a good reason why he's kind of ghosted the community since mint.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're working too, guys. We got to remember that, right? But if Zero could pop his head up and come on, man, we'll have him. Like, yeah.
He said he was going to do an AMA. He wants to do an AMA soon, and I mean, I can't wait to hear it. Right? That's going to be huge.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then we'll have the follow up with him. You know, we'll see. So what? I think we kind of grazed on it. Like, let's list out all the. We're gonna go back just one quick step. Is like the Ice Toad Alpha. Like, just a quick list. Like, what did he cover on our podcast last week? For those that might have missed it. What else did we get? All we talked about was the lead game developer.
Yeah, he dropped Chris Trammell. He dropped a couple different games that we could play. What was it? For Honor was one that we could go play. That was similar. That's going to be a similar fighting style. I think that's one he touched on the most. And Gonzaga, you said you played that, right?
I haven't. My son has.
I played.
Let's just
Honor.
quick list. Yeah, quick list of the alpha. Right, For Honor.
Yeah, there was another one.
Towers. I like that he confirmed. I think I speculated. Like we can go back in the archive and check. I speculated a little bit, and this is still determined, right? But I think I'm a little bit more confident in what I said earlier. Is if you have a champion that has a variety of essences, like that champion will still be useful. Right? There's like more tools in the toolbox. Where if you're right, and of course he said that more is more. So if you got a 4D death with 4P death matching, right, he's gonna be a badass.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said about a death that has, some life divinity and some arcane divinity where they can just fight against the others and be a more well-rounded champion. And a lot of that will be in the strategy and the person that you choose to go in the arena and the matchups, right? Because we all know one-on-one, in boxing, MMA, a lot of that shit is matchups. So if you get the right matchup, maybe you could pull off an upset with somebody that's a little bit more versatile champion.
Well, and I saw the AOS. Did you guys see some of that fighting ability? And she had some magic.
Oh,
yeah, the
man.
AOS had some magic on them, huh?
Yep. But she's super weak, bro. Did you guys look at the life bar? She only has 200 compared to a Kark, which has 500, man. So, they gave her some long-range abilities, and it seems like that's going to be her fighting style, is just dip, dodge, and try and be like a bumblebee.
What if she has some of that diamond armor, though? Remember with that diamond hand coin, the diamond armor?
Yep.
That could help, too.
Yeah, because all the stuff that they're developing is all base characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I like it.
What else was something he said? He said he definitely reaffirmed that your essence or your purity is going to be affecting special skills, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not going to have much to do with necessarily the attack itself, but your special skills. But that was something that he did go over with us because up to that point, like we had been told that your divinity, like your claws and your tail and wings, all that stuff. I remember who was it that we had on that said that wasn't going to have any impact on your fighting, right? It's just going to be battles. And then Ice Toad came on last week and was like, nah, pretty much they listened to us. And they were like, we're going to try and figure out how you guys can use your claws, wings. I mean, he was talking about having wings come in and clear characters from around you. And, you know what I mean? So, I think they're taking into effect the concept of using our body parts as weapons while still being able to maintain the use of weapons, right?
Yeah,
bro.
I
think that out of consideration. Yeah, you still want to have weapons because that's how we get gear and that's how we're going to be able to accumulate coins or tokens from selling the gear. But the fact that they're actually looking into utilizing the divine parts, that's more than what we had been. That's the opposite actually of what we had been told previously. So that's awesome.
Yeah, one other big thing he mentioned is that they're building a theme park.
Yes.
It's not just a combat arena. They're building a lot more.
A lot more game modes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the arena being the main draw, which is,
He said it was the Mickey Mouse Castle of Disneyland, right? That's the main attraction. And then everything else, man, if you're a guy that likes to walk around, which I played Skyrim open world, and a lot of the times I would just go around that world and just collect shit, sell it, this and that, right? They're going to have stuff like that. They're going to have dungeons. They're going to have big player PvP games. And then when esports comes in, I'm sure that's going to be around there. Guys, we're going to have a buffet of games to eat from.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto, man. If they make it open world like Grand Theft Auto, people still are playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online right now, and that game's 10 years old. And they haven't even done much to update it, right? So,
yeah.
This game has huge potential if they're going to develop it like that, which obviously we all know. And then, I don't know, I don't remember where I read it, but I swear, I don't know if it was something that we were communicating with Ice Toad, but didn't they say somewhere where they're going to be trying to have fighting areas outside of the Coliseum?
Yes,
I think that might have been some
smaller
one
arenas.
Of us that was communicating.
So they might be different arenas around the scene and not like the main one, right? If you look at Gladiator, remember when he lost his family and all that, and then he would go to these rink-a-dink arenas, slaughter all these dudes, but then he went to the big time, which was the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Archimus just mentioned in chat that in the last lore they mentioned it, like a gameplay mode where you have to run the gauntlet and try to be the people who survive.
We better get into that lore. We're gonna have a whole lore episode, and who knows? Maybe all of the alphas in the damn lore, even the economics, right? And I've yet to go through all of the lore yet. but we got a lot of big lore fans. By the Dip is one, so I think we're gonna have an episode with Ryder Ryan coming up here one of these days and get into that lore, see where the game is going.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a recap of the alpha, guys. One thing that I missed a question. I really wanted to ask something about how they determined how many champions got how many divinity parts, how many rarity parts, and even I had a question about the 5D. Like, was it in the game? Was it in the plans to make sure there was at least one 5D, or was that all by chance, whether it would happen or not happen? But maybe we could save those questions for Casa Messina or Zero Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Those are still some good questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, anything else, guys? We can go to the last segment here. So before we go to the last segment, Prime time comes up. Get your primes ready. If you all got any prime numbers, go ahead and put them in the chat. When we come back from our sponsor, we're going to go and get into the prime time. But first, a word from our sponsor this week.
Prime Time is brought to you by the Squiddy Dome. Feeling worn out? Tired of the conflict that surrounds you? Looking for a place to take in the vibes without the strife? Well, hang up your sword, shield, axe, mace, or whatever else you use to mangle opponents and come on down to the Squiddy Dome, where we're serving up love and good vibes like it's our job. Because it is. The Squiddy Dome, where every champion is a lover, not a fighter.
Squiddy Dome in Messina. Look, the map is a very important part of this game, so I can't wait to have that land gameplay. I think that's coming up on the roadmap. We'll see when. But figuring out who you want, where you want to lay your roots down, put your foundation down, get in a good neighborhood, have a good piece of land that's going to do some economics. That's going to be an important part. And we asked a little bit about, the Coliseum, the roadways, where to get in. Maybe we'll dive into that one of these episodes, just the gameplay and the map. But now we're into prime time, guys. Do we have a number, a prime to look at to give them their time to shine in the spotlight?
I do. I got one
today. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 5424.
We are looking for primes in the prime time segment. 5424, the Ilgra. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, that's my profile picture. That's me.
Oh,
Vita, hold
Vita
it.
G in the house.
G.
Here I am.
Look, right out the bat, man. I'm not even looking at the stats yet. I pulled them up on OpenSea. We're looking at the Ilgra champion 5424. Was that 5424, right?
Yep, 5424.
I'm seeing he has Death Essence, right? And I just touched on this. He has Death Essence, but his claws are the divine part, right?
Yeah.
And they're arcane. And so in this game, the life can beat the death. However, this Ilgra here has a divine arcane clause, and arcane beats life. So that might give him a shot, like I was saying, against the life, even though the life might have the advantage. So
and his war paint is life.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go.
Maybe that's like a passive like heal or something.
And
right?
these war paints, I'm wondering if they could be some type of like spell for magic, right? Like maybe the life one, maybe it protects him against like any kind of death, like hit or something.
Ooh, interesting. Like a reduction in damage or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Prevent a killing blow for the first time.
And
because I think I ask Ice Toad last week about war paint, and he didn't really have a very good.
Yeah, he said it. They were like passive things, like passive effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said they're so determining. Go ahead.
I was gonna say some sort of layout, like they were talking about like a spell, like some sort of like bubble. Like sorry, I tie everything back to World of Warcraft because that's where a lot of it came from. But like with your priest, you had that little shield you could put on that it would absorb a little bit of damage, give you a little bit of free time to deal out damage before you got obliterated.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure this game will pull a lot from World of Warcraft because you heard Ice Toad say he was damn near just forgot about life and dove into that game for a few years.
You're a player of World of Warcraft, 18 years, boys. That's a long time to play a single game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
He's still playing it.
I just want to say one thing about this Ilgra, because I feel like this is my profile picture, and this is why I like it. It's got the two heads. They're talking to each other. Sometimes I feel like that's my life. I've got my rational side and my feeling side. They're having this really great heart-to-heart all the time. The one with the more aggressive horns, the Imperial horns, that's more the rational side, because you see in the picture he's looking at the other side like, what the hell is wrong with you, bro? Like,
but
you're not
he's the
thinking
one
correctly.
But he's the one with the one eye too.
Yeah,
maybe he's focused, tunnel
that's
vision.
right. That's right. And he's got these different essences. He's a balanced person. I strive to be a balanced person, be able to be adaptable to any situation.
This Ilgar is Vita, bro.
Vita
and so look,
G.
the Ilgar 2, man, real quick, we can look at the next one. But the Ilgar 2, I really want to see his gameplay. Of course, he's the big, strong one. I want to see how he moves. It's probably slow and fierce, I'd imagine, with the big game character. But I'm sure he could do some damage.
The good thing
I
about
do
the
not have an
Ilgar,
Ilgar. I'm looking
the one
for
thing
one.
good about an Ilgar, what they said in the lore, is it's the Emperor's most favorite champion. This is his favorite champion right here. The reason why is because the two heads, they said, in combat you can mix up strikes. So maybe you could do one brain like wants to do a heavy, one wants to do a light, and then they kind of mix up each other, so it keeps the enemy kind of like on their toes, like, oh shoot, what is he gonna hit me with? Is he gonna block, or is he gonna do a strafe, or is he gonna hit me with a heavy attack, a light attack? That's what the Ilgra is good for. That's what they said in the lore.
Mm-hmm. And with all primes too, it's like this, they all miss one trait, right? So the Ilgar doesn't have the wings. And I wonder, and it's very apparent and visual, like, oh, he doesn't have the wings. And then there's the other one that doesn't have the wings. But I wonder what that looks like in the gameplay too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
Ronald's
put
having any wings at all.
up 6607. It's a good contrast. This one's a life one.
All right, cool.
Life Ilgra.
Show the Ilgar some love today.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm so mad, man. I don't have one yet. And if that floor goes up, I will never get one. So I need to find it. You guys, if you see an Ilgra, don't buy it. Let me look at it first. Everybody out there.
That's not financial advice, just so you guys know.
And then
send me the good deals.
For those of you guys that are listening, if you could just hit that subscribe button too, that like button, we'd greatly appreciate it. We come, at least once a week. We try to give you guys everything. We dig through a lot of the Discord, and we're always attending all the MMAs to give you guys a lot of this information.
Right. You don't have to degen. Let us do it for you. Just listen every Saturday. Yeah, look at this one.
7. Look at how many death parts it has. I'm like really curious to see. I think this thing would just roll a death essence.
Yeah.
Divine Warpaint.
Going off Ice Toads, like, it would be very strong against death for sure, considering it has all these death parts, right? That complement its life essence.
Yep. Yeah, so there's something to be said for 0p maybe, because this is straight up zero purity, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's only death and essence traits.
Death and arcane,
death and arcane traits.
He has an epic trait with the mouth too. Those fangs are epic.
Yep.
So it has the arcane protection, right? Because arcane beats life, so it might get a little bit of protection, additional protection from arcane with those other arcane parts, and then it can just absolutely obliterate a death, and have a good. Yeah, that's interesting. I like the makeup of that one.
Imagine he has arcane, like the fangs are arcane, right? So what if he bit someone on the neck that had life essence, and it was just like, he bit and it was poison went into it and made him weaker? That would be cool.
Yep. But just based on the matchups
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just based on the matchups. If you have that specific that trait that overcomes the other one, then you just got a better matchup. I like this one too because look, we got 2 rare parts and the epic parts. I love the epic parts right now, especially because they're even more rare than Divinity. We know that's going to change when the breeding and everything starts. But I'm thinking the epic parts. I know there was a little bit of what is it? Complaints that the E's look just like the D's, except for the Divinity parts have the what's that? The divine look, shiny look to it. Yeah, the divine glow to it. I actually like it. I like the fact that that's the case because it shows you that's the highest you will get. an epic and a regular champion. But if you have the PE, then your epic part will glow with divinity. I think that's a cool idea.
I mean, I just want to say about this champion. I don't know. I haven't looked at a lot of Ilgras, but this one is dirty, dirty. Which I mean, to me means this guy's gonna be a freaking brawler, right? So
Dirty, not clean. This is gonna be a dirty fighter.
dirty. Roll around in the dirt with you, boys.
Right. Yeah, all right, guys. We're a little bit over an hour. We covered a lot this week. You know, for this week, a lot happened. We covered a lot in this show here in this episode. So let's go around, man. Prime Minds, how are you guys feeling right now? How are you feeling moving forward?
This is Gonzaga. I'm super happy about the combat video. Super bullish about the project still, and just can't wait to get my hands on it.
Hey, this is By the Dip. Always feeling bullish about this. Love the team. One thing about this team is they know how to put out big games. So I'm always been a betting man, and I'll bet the house on this if I could.
Vita G here. Oh,
go ahead. Nope. Yeah. I was calling y'all. Go ahead, Vita.
It's all good, dude. This is Vita G here. I just want to, let people know, like, I might have sounded a little bit down on the project today, and I want to assure people I am still bullish on this project. I'm a contrarian by nature, and I do think that it is important for us to ask difficult questions respectfully. Ask difficult questions respectfully of people who are developing, this project that we're involved in. And I do think it's good that we, while the hype is good, that we also keep a realistic and rational mindset about what's going forward. So with all of that said, I still want to say I am still bullish on this project. I'm stoked on it. I love getting to do this on Saturday mornings. And thank you all for joining.
Yeah, just to expound upon what Vita G's saying is we have no problems here playing the devil's advocate, right? Like, you have to be able to look at the entire picture to know what's truly going on, because no story only has one side. So feel free to, we are part of the community. So anybody who's listening now or listens in the future, feel free to reach out to us on Discord, and we're happy to discuss stuff with you guys out there too, right? All of us, as you can tell, are very bullish on this project, or else we wouldn't be sitting here every Saturday morning just chopping it up about a project that we didn't care about. So no, as long as you're hearing us, we still got love for this project. We got love for the game. We got love for the developers, and we're looking forward to next week to talk about it some more. And by the way, next week we're going to be doing another interview with a guy from the team. Do you want to tell him a little bit more about that, King Dov?
Shit, drop the alpha, man. Hey, who we got coming on?
Yeah, we got next week, if I remember correctly, we're going to be having Captain Chris on. We'll be talking a little bit more about all the stuff that he's been doing in Discord. Probably talk to him a little bit about the lore. This scavenger hunt is going to be a big thing that we got on our minds, and I really want to know what is up with this live action role playing for the winners of the scavenger hunt. What that's going to be more about.
Yeah, they're doing
ready,
things to build some activity, some community, doing some things like that. That's great, right? No, that's it. I got nothing left to say. Everybody just summed it up completely. I'm here for the game. I'm still bullish. If there's a little bit of negative sentiment, it's going to come out in this podcast, right? We're just like every other holder in CA. We're just like every other holder in NFTs, right? We have a keen eye, keen senses for things when they're up and down, and we're going to talk about it. With that said, I completely agree. See you all next week. Again, just like Dip said, share the YouTube, follow us on Twitter, at Prime Minds Pod. We will follow you back. Till then, you all know, as always, Prime Minds think alike.